Your spark has never left your body. Your spark will never leave your body. Your spark has never... Hello. Welcome to Authentically Aligned, a wellness podcast where we speak on all things wellness, from fitness and nutrition to meditation and mindfulness, healing, growth, self-help, and so much more. If you are a new listener, welcome to the podcast. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for your love and support. And I want you to know that I'm sending you that same love and support right back. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about getting your spark back. And this is so interesting because this is something that I have been working on, is getting my spark back, getting back to the root of me. But the other day, I came across somebody who asked me this question: how do you get your spark back? When you feel that you have lost yourself, whether it be in a relationship or a job, or even just maybe in a new environment, and you're feeling like you've lost yourself, you're feeling like you're out of touch with yourself, how do you get that spark back? And I think this is something that is so important to understand, is how to get back to you and your light and the things that bring you joy and fulfillment, but also in turn bring others that same joy and fulfillment. Getting back to the essence of you so that you are able to shine your light as bright as possible. So the first step in getting your spark back is obviously recognizing or realizing that you may have lost it. Recognizing that you may be out of touch, or you don't feel as exhilarated to wake up every single day. You're not doing things that make you feel like you. You're out of touch with the things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, that bring you fulfillment. And I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day talking about how important hobbies are. This was coming from an older woman who is in a space of finding her joy again, getting her spark back again. And she told me, I realize now how important it is to have hobbies, to have things to do that you love, that pour into you, that take care of yourself, and how much more fun life is when you are able to come back to these things. So recognizing that maybe you are so out of touch that you're not doing anything that brings you joy or fulfillment, or maybe you're stuck in a routine, or you're stuck in your redundant ways of going to work, and then I go to the gym, and then I go home and I watch TV or I read my book. There's nothing wrong with these things, but recognizing, are these things pouring life into you? Are they the things that make you who you are? As a kid, we grow up with so many activities, doing different hobbies, doing different things, and it brings us joy. It brings out that childlike nature in us. But for some reason, as an adult, we lose sight of those things. We lose touch with those things. And so recognizing how you can get back into touch with those things, and recognizing where spaces in your life, areas of your life that you are lacking this sense of fulfillment, this sense of spark. And as you work on getting this spark back, as you work on doing the things that are pouring into you and filling your cup, you're going to recognize that your inner glow matters so much more than your external glow. So you could be doing all of the things that are taking care of yourself as far as skincare goes, as far as drinking your water. I guess that could be internal too, but doing all of the external things, taking care of yourself from the outside, feeling that glow from the outside, looking presentable from the outside, But when it stems from the inside, it's unshakable. It's unmissable. Everybody is able to see that spark inside of you because you are radiating from the inside out rather than just radiating in an external sense. So essentially, getting your spark back looks like returning to the childlike, playful sense of you. What does that look like? And how do you let this light and spark shine from within and spread and expand across your life? And the first part of getting your spark back and getting back to yourself is choosing yourself. Are you actively choosing yourself? Or when was the last time you actively chose yourself? Again, we get so caught up in the day-to-day and the going to work and the routine and all of these things. And even our routine can be pouring into us, but that doesn't mean that it's pouring into our internal light or our spark. Getting back to the root of you and choosing yourself over and over. And sometimes that looks like being in a selfish era. I will be so honest, that is the era that I'm in right now, is my selfish era. Because being in this era has taught me more about myself than I've ever known about myself. And it's very interesting because being in this era of being selfish, of choosing me, looks like choosing my energy and staying in my own energy. And in order for me to stay in my own energy, I have to absolutely love and adore and cherish that energy. And it took time to get to that point. It took time for me to value my energy and actually truly get to know what energy is mine versus what energy is somebody else's. But when I got to that point, it made it so easy for me to be in a season of choosing me. Every moment, I am doing something that is pouring into me. I am doing something where my spark is shining bright from within. I'm doing something that gives me that giddy, childlike feeling inside. And this took time because I had to get back to myself. I had to choose myself. There have been many seasons in my life where I have said, I am choosing myself. This is about me. This is for me. But never actually did I embody and embrace the fullness of what it looks like to choose me, what it looks like to choose my own energy and be selective. It's one thing to be selective about the energies that you're surrounding yourself with and the people that you're allowing. But when you are so full in your energy and so solid in your energy, you get to experience yourself. You get to experience your aura. You get to experience your essence. And so many times do I hear people say, I wish I could feel my energy the way that somebody else does. And never are you going to feel it from an outsider's perspective. But if you get close enough, you can really feel and take on and embody your own energy from a perspective of experience. So embracing the phase of choosing you, embracing the selfish phase, because really what you are doing is getting to know yourself exactly as you would somebody else. And inside of this, you get to relearn the things that make you happy, relearn the things that bring you joy, that make you feel like a child again. Because just because now we are adults in this adult world does not mean that our life cannot be childlike and it can't be playful. It means that we have to work a little bit harder to pour into that, to cultivate that. But when we do, our life becomes so much more fulfilling, and we're able to adventure the chaos of adult life with this childlike mindset, childlike energy, knowing all that we do now, having all of the wisdom that we've had for however many years. And really, it's about getting back to the things that bring you that sense of being on the playground again, bring you that sense of doing an art project again, or any of these things. For me, it has looked like so many different things, but having experiences that allow me to relive that childlike feeling has been so incredible, and it has 1000% brought me closer to exactly who I am. We get so conditioned by outside factors or outside influence to only partake in specific activities or only participate in certain things. And, oh, at this age, you shouldn't be doing this. And there is a sense of responsibility that comes with adulthood, but that doesn't mean that you have to lose your childlike nature. For me, something that has been so prominent in this journey of self-discovery, getting back to myself and healing, is getting back into dance, because dance is something that I have always done. It's something that I have always loved. But in my early adulthood, I lost my love for it. I lost that childlike sense. I lost the joy and the fulfillment of what it means to be free in your body and to explore your body and to really just live in your body. And that is something that I have recently gotten back into, and not for anybody else, but for myself. Finding these hobbies and these practices, whether it's doing something that's creative, whether it's going outside and going and sitting at a park and enjoying your life and enjoying your surroundings, but finding these things that allow you to keep that childlike energy and then allow you to cultivate this newfound sense of happiness inside of adulthood. Relearning these things, relearning these activities, these hobbies, these practices, these mindsets. And sometimes getting into that childlike nature doesn't look like what we used to do as a child. Sometimes we have to find new ways to pour into that, to create that, and to get a full sense of fulfillment from that. But it takes experimentation, it takes exploration, it takes open-mindedness, it takes willingness to explore, willingness to do things that are out of the ordinary for you, but creating these experiences. Each time you have a new experience, you never know where that is going to take you. You never know what sense of joy or fulfillment or peace that is going to give you. And the fact that we have so much availability and so much opportunity to create new experiences every single day, that's how you keep adventure in your life. That's how you keep this playful, childlike nature, is by creating and cultivating experiences, getting out of the routine, getting out of the day-to-day, and doing something that shocks you. Doing something that you are not used to. But in those instances is where you really start to feel alive. This in particular is for my ladies, but a lot of the things that I mentioned before are things that are allowing you to step into your playfulness, step into your feminine energy, get back to your feminine energy. I think that it's really common for women to feel that they can't be in their full feminine energy unless there is a masculine presence in their life. But just because you are on your own in your feminine energy does not mean that you have to embrace and embody the masculine side of you. It's important for you to get out of survival mode. Even if you are taking care of yourself, even if you are working for yourself, even if you are fully dependent on yourself, you have to take yourself out of survival mode. And if you're unable to take yourself out of survival mode, you're never going to experience that playfulness. You're never going to experience that childlike nature. Taking yourself out of survival mode allows you to step into your feminine energy. It allows you to embody the essence of who you are and who you are meant to be. Because here is the reality of it. If you are uncertain of your energy, your essence, your aura, but you think that you are going to get into a connection or a relationship or put yourself in an environment where now your feminine energy is suddenly going to thrive, it's not going to happen, because if you're constantly in survival mode, that's all your body knows. Your body is unaware of how to be in your feminine energy. It's foreign to you. You have to introduce your body, your mind, your spirit to this energy, to this essence, getting back to it, getting to know what the feminine side of you looks like so that you are solid in your energy no matter who's around, no matter what environment you're placed in. But you can always keep that feminine, playful, childlike nature to you. Taking yourself out of survival mode allows you to step into the playful. It allows you to have new creative experiences and new experiences that allow you to fully embody the essence of what it means to be you. It's okay to do things just for fun. It's okay to do things that are not necessarily productive. It's okay to have an experience that is going to bring you joy and have nothing to show for it at the end of the day except for the feeling that you experienced and the memory that you have of it. Creating more of these things allows you to fully live in your life rather than living in the future, living in the planning of a moment. It allows you to fully embrace and embody a true experience. As a woman, for so long, I thought that in order to fully step into my feminine energy, I needed a male presence in my life. And when you are able to recognize and realize that your feminine energy exists regardless, you can do all of the things that your heart desires, whatever that is. Allowing yourself the time and space to be the woman that you are. Not to be the woman that your best friend is, not to be the woman that society wants you to be, not to be the woman that any man wants you to be, but embracing your femininity, allowing yourself to experience what it feels like to be in that feminine energy, so that when you are placed in an environment, when you are taken out of that environment, your energy, your light, your spark sticks. It's not going anywhere. When you work on creating and cultivating this relationship, you build confidence within yourself. There is so much confidence that is built within the connection that you have to yourself. This is something that I say so often, but taking the time to get to know yourself again. What does that look like? How are you understanding yourself? What are your patterns? What are your habits? What are your thoughts? What are the things that you enjoy doing at the end of the day? What are the things that you enjoy doing at the beginning of the day? Who are you? Because I guarantee you, if you can't identify who you are for yourself, if you can't articulate that, you definitely can't show or teach anybody else. Figuring out who you are to your being, to your core, is going to take you so much further because you have taken the time to build and create this relationship that you have within yourself. That can look like journaling, self-reflecting, doing the inner child work. As you do this inner child work, you're gonna be brought back to the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. You're also gonna have to process through the things that didn't and don't bring you joy and fulfillment. But in those moments, you are getting to know yourself and you're getting back to yourself. There are so many qualities about you that you carry with you today that the same 5-year-old self, the 5-year-old version of you, carried with you in that day. But you have to take the time to make those connections, to make those correlations, to have those realizations that, oh, this has always been me. Self-devotion, devoting time, space, energy to yourself. Understanding yourself in different environments. Understanding yourself in your own environment. When you're in your own environment is when you feel the most safe. It's when you feel the most secure. How do you express yourself in that environment? How do you care for yourself in that environment? How do you show up for yourself in that environment? And are all of these things actually the essence of you? Or are they the essence of every person, place, connection that you have had throughout your life? What does getting back to your energy look like? Quieting everybody else's energy, quieting all of the noise that you have experienced for the entirety of your life, and coming back to, connecting back to the childlike, playful-like version of yourself. And then taking that time in solitude is what's going to help build the trust within yourself. That is where your confidence comes from. That is where your power comes from. Because as you spend time in solitude, as you get to know these habits, these behaviors, these tendencies, the things that you love, the things that you don't love, you're not influenced by anybody else. You're influenced by yourself. And when you know, this is what I like to do, this is how I like to do it, this is how I like to live, these are the habits that I like, these are my values, you walk with a different sort of confidence because you can walk into a room unshakable. Nothing, no one is going to be able to shake your energy, to shake your essence, your being, your aura, your spark. But you have to take the time to cultivate that solitude. You have to take the time and devote to yourself. You have to take the time to get to know yourself again. So how do you create a ritual for personal glow up? Because essentially getting back to yourself, embodying that is how you are truly going to have a glow up. Because you're being true to yourself. You're being authentic to yourself. You are living in your truth of exactly who you are and who you have always been. Your outer glow comes from inner shifts. That outer spark, that outer radiance comes from all of the things that you are doing within. Everywhere that you're cultivating and nourishing within. And once you are able to identify these things, you then can work toward the embodiment of that, creating rituals of embodiment, embodying what it feels like to move as yourself, embodying what it looks like to style yourself, embodying the true beauty of who you are. What does your beauty look like to you? How do you embody your personal beauty? How do you embody your personal movement? How do you embody your personal style? But if you have no identification of beauty, of movement, of style, of self, there's absolutely no way for you to embody these things. And then in addition to embodiment, finding the habits, the routines, the practices, the activities, the creativity, the foods that light you up, that bring you that full, true, lit up spark. The spark that lights you up from the inside out. But self-identification is the only way for you to really recognize what all of these things are. Experimentation and exploration are great ways for you to understand and develop and create and cultivate and nourish all of these things that make your spark a little bit brighter and a little bit brighter and a little bit brighter. And then guess what? When you have proper self-identification, when you know exactly what your spark looks like, and you know exactly what ignites your spark, you have to set boundaries. Boundaries are a must. But the most amazing thing about having this spark and knowing this spark is knowing that boundaries are non-negotiable, and knowing that you can and you will set these boundaries because there is no other way to live. If you're not setting boundaries, you're pouring water on your spark. You are drowning your spark. But when you have experienced your spark so bright, so light, so full, you're not going to want to not set boundaries. It becomes a non-negotiable to set these boundaries, to take care of yourself, to embody your truest essence, and to live life fully, truly, authentically as you. But as you do this, you are magnetizing aligned opportunities, aligned relationships, because you're not going to accept anything less than what makes your spark a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter. And the most amazing feeling that comes of this is being fully expressed in your voice, in your body, and in your power. Expressing yourself exactly as everything that you are through every outlet possible. Sharing that with anybody and everybody who is around, because you have no option but to share and spread your light and your spark. And as you are coming back to your spark, recognizing that you don't have to find your spark. It's not lost. It's maybe just suppressed. It's maybe just hiding. But your spark is always inside of you. And you can always tap back into it. You can always get closer. You can always rebuild that relationship with your spark. Your spark has never left your body. Your spark will never leave your body. But the more that you pour into your spark, the more you let it shine, the more you nourish and embody your spark, the brighter and the brighter and the brighter it's going to shine. As you move through your week this week, I invite you to take moments that are going to bring you back to your spark. Take moments that are going to make your spark a little bit brighter. a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter. I'm sending you so much love and light this week. Have a beautiful week.